moving on to the potential flaws that the Boston Celtics have. The obvious is no Kristaps Porzingis. Now, the Boston Celtics beat the Dallas Mavericks twice this year. And a huge part of that was Porzingis. When they have him in the game and he's living at the 3-point line, Gafford, Lively, Washington, all of these guys can't roam in the paint the way they've been doing, right? So missing Porzingis is going to be huge for them, right? I know he's going to be back, but like I said, I don't think you can count on that. I really don't. I don't think you can count on Porzingis, coming back being the guy that they had in the regular season. The other part is, obviously, they have played no competition in the East so far. And on top of that, against the Indiana Pacers, they potentially could have lost any of those games, even though I personally didn't think they were going to. But it was close enough to where if the game is tight like that against the Dallas Mavericks, against Luka and Kyrie, I don't think you take all of those games. I think you would split it down the middle. It would have been like a 2-2, right? Like you don't just beat them every single time. And you play a risky game. So that's what I'm worried about. Excuse me. On top of that, I don't know if I've seen a great 48 minutes consistently from the Boston Celtics. Sometimes they look kind of bored out there. Sometimes they don't really look like they're into it in stretches. And, teams get back on them. Teams make runs. Now you have a team like Dallas that's been rolling on offense. So that's a potential problem. Now, adding on to the Kristaps issue, Al Horford will be picked on consistently in this series. Right? He's going to be the weak link on defense. Everyone's talking about Boston got defenders. Al Horford is old as shit. And Kyrie and Luka are going to look to pick on him on defense. Now, that leads me to the next part, which is potential adjustments. Right? So, with Al Horford getting picked on defense, I would expect the Boston Celtics to, one, swap him and Tatum. So Tatum would start on Gafford, and then Horford will get the corner guy, which is PJ Washington. And now, when Gafford does the pick and roll with Luka, you're looking at Tatum coming off and switching, and potentially Jaylen Brown switching on to Gafford, trying to just put a body on him, right? Similar to what they did in the Indiana Pacers series, and it worked. Now, the Boston Celtics they haven't been running a very deep lineup, right? So I'm trying to figure out who they could potentially, let me see. They run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They've been playing 8 players. I can tell you right now, Xavier Tillman probably isn't going to see the floor this series. He's an even bigger liability than Al Horford, outside of going out there and fucking hacking and fouling Luka. So now you're looking at potentially putting Sam Hauser or Peyton Pritchard in if you want to take Al Horford out of the game. slide Tatum to the 5, put Sam Hauser in or Peyton Pritchard, and now you kind of slide everyone up. What this would do is now it forces a situation where Boston plays with 5 players out of the paint, 5 players on the perimeter pretty much. And now that might force the Dallas Mavericks to then take Daniel Gafford out of the game. And they could potentially put, let me see, who would they put in? They could put in a Dwight Powell, maybe? Probably not. They'll probably put in Josh Green if that was the case. Josh Green or Exum if they want to go small. So now the Boston Celtics can consistently post up, attack the basket without a Daniel Gafford. That's going to be the initial adjustment that I would expect in the first 2 to 3 games. Is, Jayson, I would expect the Boston Celtics to come out and play the Dallas Mavericks as straight up as they can in game 1. Meaning Drew Holiday will be picking him up full court. They're going to try to play him straight up in one-on-ones, force him to tough shots. They're not going to do this switch early, right? They want to keep it in their back pocket. I think another key will be if the Boston Celtics can implement their zone defense effectively. I know they've run it, but a team like the Dallas Mavericks, where you want to force one of their bigs to catch the ball at the nail and make a play and shoot that shot, maybe see a zone defense that they could implement, like a 2-3. So you could take away the corner still. And now if Kyrie Irving or something like that, or Luka gets to the nail and starts making plays, it's a problem. But maybe they could try to bait the bigs into playing some offense.